What's up, comrades? It's me again. I know I was live earlier, failing at Tropico, but tonight we have very, very serious things to discuss because we live in very, very serious times. We've been following the global Samud flotilla. The main ship in that flotilla was bombed by a drone at harbor in Tunis, in Tunisia. So that's where we're at. I mean, anybody who has been paying attention for the past, I don't know, 70 something years knows that this is par for the course for the Zionist entity, which is why it must be destroyed. In a just world, there would be an international brigade currently on its way to land on the shores of Gaza and help join with the resistance and liberate Palestine from the river to the sea. But we do not live in a just world. Justice is only justice if we make it. So, I have a comrade that I've known for quite a while, Comrade Nate, to talk about situation in his homeland because the masses are currently in the streets in Nepal. So let's just watch a brief video about like showing what's going on over there. Nepal is a beautiful country, by the way.
तपाईँ हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ यहाँ
So this says KTM Gen Z protest against corrupted government of Nepal.
पानीको फोका के भन्छ यसलाई यसो चाहिँ पब्लिकहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा गर्न खोजिएको छ तर आजको पब्लिक भने एकदमै डरलाग्दो देख्न सक्नुहुन्छ तपाईँ कम्तीमा पनि 4000 देखि 5000 भन्दा बढी मान्छेहरू यहाँ आइसकेका छन् र पब्लिकले पनि त्यो पानी फेल्ने मसिनलाई चाहिँ इट्टा ढुङ्गा पानीको बोतलले चाहिँ यसरी अट्याक गरिसकेका छन् यता पुलिसहरूलाई पनि पब्लिकहरूले असल ग्यासको पनि प्रयोग भएको छ र हामी सुन्न सक्छौँ मेबी फायरिङ पनि भएको थियो कि जेनजीलाई र यता पनि हामी हेर्न सक्छौँ संसद भवनको चाहिँ घेरा गरिसकेको छ युथहरूले आजको यहाँ धेरै क्षति हुने देखिन्छ असल ग्यासको प्रयोग पुलिसको तर्फबाट पनि
All right, so they're picking up tear gas and throwing it back at the cops who are spraying people with water cannons. Anybody who has been familiar with demonstrations for the past decade or so is very familiar with that scene. So, Nate, what the hell is going on over there?
So currently, the main issue. Also, hello everybody. Excuse my accent, but yeah. So what's going on over there right now is the current government is led by the Democratic Socialist and Unified Marxist-Leninist parties. It's generally seen as a betrayal of the revolution because what they've been doing is caving to China. They've been called capitalist roaders by the Maoist factions, and they've been caving to China. They've banned over 27 different platforms, except TikTok. But YouTube is banned. Facebook is banned. They were given a alleged 2-year notice, but that thing came hammered down in about a week. I've been speaking to some of my comrades and relatives over there. It's bad. Last I heard, which is early this morning, about 10 people are confirmed dead, and over 100 are confirmed injured.
So why would they? So they've banned Facebook, they've banned Instagram. So
Yep.
basically, I imagine Twitch is banned too.
Oh,
So
Twitch is banned. Yeah, Twitch is banned. Kick is banned. I think even Viber is banned, which is crazy because Viber is one of the most commonly used apps in the entire country.
so basically, you can. So basically, it's a total social media blackout.
Yep,
So
it's a
you mentioned
full blackout.
you mentioned that this you mentioned that Nepal. If you're familiar with the revolution in Nepal, so you had Frichanda, who is as Comrade Nate mentioned, a capitalist roader. Like he makes Deng Xiaoping look like Abimel Guzman.
Yeah. He also idolizes Donald Trump.
Prachanda idolizes Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's actively been, I guess you'd say, modeling himself after Trump. A lot of small countries around the world have been doing this recently. Basically, they try to follow either America or China's or Russia's trend, and he actively tries to model himself after Trump. Yeah,
Jesus Christ. So so Nepal is run by a coalition between Marxist Leninists, aka modern revisionists,
correct.
and social democrats.
Yes, that is
So
absolutely correct.
this is basically the equivalent of DSA and PSL running a country.
Yeah, this would be like if PSL and DSA were running the United States. It's a terrible idea. The I will say that the Maoist Center Party is not in favor of this blackout ban. Um, they've been doing some pretty heavy protests as well.
Okay. Um so so yeah, you basically have Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
So you
Last
have
year,
you
okay.
have this is so you have again like
Oh
people
yeah.
being wheeled through the streets bloody and they're being shot with real bullets. These are not
Oh
rubber
yeah. No,
bullets. It's not
they're the. I'm actually spoke recently with a family member of mine who is I will say in law enforcement over there. He even law enforcement is not happy. They're not happy that they're being ordered to do this stuff.
yeah, orders to kill orders to shoot at and kill their own fucking kids.
Mhm. And keep in mind, most of the protesters are the reason it's called Gen Z. The Gen Z protest is because most of the protesters are young. Most of law enforcement is also very young, and so they're basically being ordered to,
Attack people
fire
that they
on
went
their
to
own
school. Yeah.
classmates and friends. Yeah,
Yeah, attack people that they went to school with and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, Nepal is actually a very young country. So,
I was actually older
uh,
than America.
really,
Yep.
huh.
Yeah, it was established in the early 1700s.
Huh. No, I mean like young in regards to demographics.
Oh yes, yes. Most of the people in Nepal are actually quite young.
Huh. Interesting. I love
As you can see that, as you can see
dude is
from this video here,
yeah,
you
dude
can
is
see
over here
the
just R farming in a suit.
yeah, yeah. As you can
Wow.
see, most of these people are probably no older than 26.
Mm.
They're just one thing that I heard earlier today from a family member was that a lot of people are just sick of the current government. They're sick of parties. Um, the Maoist Party actually is getting quite a lot of traction, though, because they're the ones siding with the protesters and the revolutionaries.
You said the Maoist party?
Yes, the Maoist Party is generally getting quite a lot of traction because they're siding with the people, as it were.
Yeah.
Specifically, Maoist Center, the Biplav Party.
Okay.
I had the
So,
I had the pleasure of meeting Comrade Biplav at one point.
holy shit. So, yeah, you're locked in over there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, Comrade Red Terror Collective asks, so Nepal had a protracted people's war, didn't it? And the communists became parliamentarian. Yeah, Nepal,
Uh,
if I recall correctly, was directly inspired by the People's War in Peru.
yes, so the People's War in Nepal. This is actually one of the reasons why the Maoists have not demilitarized. Is there was a protracted People's War, and it was waged by multiple different parties. And once they got to, so I don't know if you're familiar with it, Comrade, but I know obviously, Comrade BRG is, but the three-stage war. You have your democratic revolution, then you have your socialist revolution, and finally you have your communist revolution. One of the reasons the Maoists have not been particularly happy, and a lot of the people have not been particularly happy, is because once the democratic revolution happened and it finished in 2006, full brakes.
Yeah.
Just they hit the brakes.
Yeah, they were basically like, you know what, we got what we wanted, and because like it was a lot of people, they just think that the revolution was to topple the monarchy,
Yes,
and the
it was not
monarchy ended up being there was this I think Prince literally crashed out and killed damn near the entire royal family.
Yeah, Paras, the prince of Nepal, the crown prince of the Rana dynasty. He went on a full crash out. He specifically, or not Paras. It was I believe
Dipendra.
Devendra. That's the one. Yeah, Paras is generally assumed to be the one behind it because he became the crown prince. But Dipendra basically he came out with an Uzi and just started massacring the royals that were trying to do reforms, which allowed Paras and Ganendra's dynasty to impose some pretty heavy authoritarian measures.
Mm.
Thankfully, they were overthrown in 2006, and I remember, oh man, there were celebrations in the streets. My grandmother, my grandfather, they were like weeping tears of joy.
Yeah, dude, damn near murdered his entire fucking family. Like he
Yeah,
killed the
no, you look at
king.
that, look at that
His
shit.
dad, yeah, his dad was the king. So his mom, Queen Aisha Warrior,
Ashwarya,
um,
yes.
yeah, you had the Queen Dowager. Like he just basically wiped out his whole fucking
Oh yeah,
family. It's wild.
and then fun little fact. The no members of Paris's family were at that little gala that was occurring. And Dipendra was apparently committed suicide by bullet to the back of the head. And then all their bodies were taken to a military cemetery for immediate cremation.
Mm, yeah,
I don't know. It's still one of those things that everybody in Nepal talks about. It's like an Epstein didn't kill himself situation.
yeah. And Prachanda claimed that it was the work of the CIA or the Indian Secret
Yeah,
Service.
And Prashanta's full of shit. It wasn't. It was probably a local. It was like a red wedding situation, most likely. Rather than, I don't think it was be the CIA or every dude. Everybody thinks the CIA has a is like listening in when you tell your family members that the local buffalo had a shit.
That's a lot of paranoia. Huh? So,
Oh
and
yeah,
these you have these wild claims. Like some people claim that the guy that did it wasn't actually Dipendra, but some type of hitman who wore a mask to look like Dipendra. Paras, the other prince,
yeah.
threw away Dipendra's ventilator in the hospital.
That
Nine
might.
hundred
So
people.
that last part might actually be true, but there's a lot of fucking conspiracy theories going on in
Yeah,
Nepal.
apparently 900 people were killed in the palace that night, and then there was a curfew to allow for the disposal of their bodies. The
Yep.
public water supply and milk had been poisoned in Kathmandu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's all. I will say that's all bullshit.
yeah,
Like
just
900 people were not killed, but the whole royal family was wiped out.
yeah. It was kind of like this. Oh, so it was like the red wedding.
It was like the red wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like you really can't talk about Nepal without talking about the fact that the entire fucking royal family got slumped.
Oh yeah.
Um, so going back to the whole China situation. So
Mhm.
a lot of people in America in particular, they see China as some sort of godsend, like the whole Chairman Xi fire when ready meme. Like that's a
Mhm.
thing. But like when you actually talk about the third world, like a lot of people in Africa and South Asia, like you literally have China has been arming
Oh yeah.
the Nepalese military against the Maoists, who you mentioned have never really demilitarized.
Yep. The
Um,
Maoists are still in there. So there's quite a few Maoist formations still in their cantons in the jungle.
okay, so yeah,
But
just yeah. So
yeah,
Chairman Biplov fire when ready.
Chairman Biplov fire when ready. Yeah.
The
There's
Indian and
also the
Chinese
People's War.
governments.
There's also the People's War Group, and several other Maoist formations that I won't talk about directly, but they're all still armed and they're ready to go.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Say, Mark, could you read out? I can't see the full of this
You're
message.
good. The Indian and Chinese governments are carving out parts of this disputed Nepalese border.
That is correct. So there was actually a conflict in 2015. It's referred to as the 2015 Nepal blockade, when the Indian government attempted to resist the fact that our constituent assembly was creating a socialist government, specifically in Nepal, illegally. Um, all parties have to be at least somewhat aligned to socialism.
Mm.
And the Indian government wanted them to be Hindu nationalists, and then they blockaded the country. They starved it. My dog died. Pretty bad time.
Yeah, I get it. So, when people think about Maoism in Nepal, you cannot talk about Maoism in Nepal without talking about Prachanda, because even though he's a shit now, like he did help organize the party
Oh
that
yeah, he was a hero,
initiated.
but he was one of those people where it's you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Yeah, and he is a pretty big villain. I recall reading one article by him. Well, no, an interview that he gave in which he compared. He basically said that he wanted Nepal to be the Switzerland of the Himalayas.
It is still kind of like the Switzerland of the Himalayas because Nepal doesn't really take sides, as it were,
Yeah.
specifically between India and China. But recently, they've been leaning more towards China because there's quite a lot of irritation at India,
Okay.
and specifically India's Hindu nationalist sort of fascist government.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I get it. Like it's kind of like a situation, Cuba situation. Like Maoists are pretty adamant about criticizing Fidel Castro, and
Oh yeah,
like I'm kind of sympathetic because the guy was in between a rock and a hard place. Like you have the world's most insidious empire 90 miles off your coast, and then you have the Soviet Union, who of course wants your island for its own purposes. Like nobody gives away anything for free, even in the socialist movement.
oh yeah.
But like,
Honestly, BRG, I'm more sympathetic to Castro than I am to Prachanda though, because Prachanda's been fully caving to outside sources. It's
yeah,
very corrupt.
yeah, and I'd like, and a lot of the old cadres are like, look, we did not fight, we did not spend almost a fucking decade in the mountains for you to hand our country over to China or to India or to anybody else. Like
Oh,
again,
absolutely. Yeah.
like if my people succeed, and we will succeed in our struggle for a new Africa, and like no, we're not giving away our country to anybody. Like we fought, we shed blood for this motherfucker. Like this is the product of decades of struggle, and we're not giving it away. So I
Oh, yeah.
definitely
I
get it.
mean, the Wikipedia article is actually mildly erroneous because it says it was a 10-year civil war. It was a civil war that lasted from the 50s. It was a
Yeah.
series of civil wars.
Mm.
And like that's why I mean, I'm assuming you've never been to Kathmandu, but there's this place called the Syed Gate, which is just one of the entrances to the city. That actually comes from the Shahid Gate, which is the Martyrs Gate, and that's where the six democracy martyrs were killed in the interest of toppling the monarchy out in like the 50s or the 60s. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, very proud history of struggle with the Nepalese people.
Yeah.
Um, so our next question, I guess, would be like, so the protests they're not just about social media. Like that's where the Western media is like, oh my God, all these Zoomers are mad because they banned Facebook and Instagram and all this other stuff. Like they're basically trying to portray it as like some sort of apolitical Zoomer crash out. But like there's real, like you already mentioned, there's real rage at the betrayal of
Yeah.
this ML/slash social democratic government that has, like you said, been abusing the people. Like their kids, they go to top dollar schools in Switzerland and the United States. They wear polo, Lacoste, drive Mercedes Benz, Lamborghini, Ferrari, eat fucking uh, eat fucking banquet course meals every day. Meantime, you've got the average student. They survive off a bowl of rice or two a day, and they wear hand
There's
me down.
usually some potato and lentils in there.
Yeah, but either way, they're not having fucking lamb every day. Meantime, so again, it's inequality in what's supposed to be what is billed as a socialist government.
Exactly. There is quite a lot of irritation at specifically at general party corruption.
Mm.
It's not just they're mad about social media. They're just frustrated because, I mean, I when I was living there um, for years, and I have family there right now. I mean, I can't even talk to my dad right now because of the ban. But everybody was slowly getting annoyed with the various sort of crony corruption style parties. Specifically, nobody has faith in the UML anymore. Nobody's got
The,
faith.
the
That's
United Marxist Leninists.
yeah. Nobody has faith in the United Marxist Leninists anymore. Nobody has faith in the Congress Party, which is technically Social Democrats. People still have faith in the Maoists because they stayed in there for fucking 10 years. I'm also going to turn off my camera to take a smoke real quick.
I'm good. I'm plugging my fucking headphones in.
Got you.
But yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that people like about Maoists. We don't compromise.
Yeah, and that's a really, really positive thing. That's one of the reasons that, I mean, beyond just being raised by a bunch of Maoists, that's one of the reasons I've always liked hanging around Maoists.
Yeah. Well, you certainly like hanging around me.
Yep.
I think it's my beard.
Oh, maybe it's mine.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's fucked up. You can't talk to your dad. Like I'm not a supporter. I hate censorship.
Oh,
like obviously, if you're a fucking Nazi or something, you should not be allowed to spew your crap all over the place. But like,
yeah,
and that should
I mean,
always
I think we both agree on what should be done with Nazis, but yeah.
But like that shit eventually backfires on you. Like you cannot just restricting people's movements, like curfews and banning people from talking online like that. That shit always backfires. People do not like their personal freedoms trampled upon.
Oh yeah, I mean, so actually, I don't know if you were aware of this, but most of the youth in Nepal are, for example, despite the fact that a lot of our parents were given scholarships by the Soviet Union, still anti-Russia in terms of the Ukraine war.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to it sounds like something pretty similar to Africa. Like if you talk to a lot of elders that grew up in Egypt or Nigeria or Ghana or other states like that, when during the 60s and the 70s, like a lot of them went to school in the Soviet Union. Like if you talk to an engineer that's a boomer from Africa, chances are he spent some time in Moscow or Leningrad.
Yep, a lot of our family members studied in the Soviet Union. To be fair to the Soviets, that was actually a pretty smart move in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there.
Building up soft power.
Yep.
Yeah, like if you went to school for free in Moscow or Leningrad, and they taught you how to be an engineer, that's getting a lot of good people in your pocket because those engineers are going to go back and they're going to eventually become a technocracy in their home countries.
Yep.
Same thing. They also help train a lot of them, along with China, help train a lot of the guerrilla forces for Limo, the MPLA, like these various groups. They all receive aid of some sort from not just the USSR, but Cuba as well. Like if you go to Africa today, like Che Guevara and Fidel Castro are still highly regarded because they helped. Like Fidel Castro went after Thomas Sankara's coup in Burkina Faso. The Cuban government sent vaccines to help build up a public health network over there. So people still look at that highly. There's very, very few Maoists in Africa though, because a lot of people remember the betrayal of the PRC after the turn towards the United States after 1971, when Mao 71 or 72, when Mao met with Nixon. So people remember stuff. People have long memories.
Yeah. And one of the major issues in Nepal right now is, in fact, long memories, because you had these kids out there right now, they're our age, and they remember their parents fighting for the deposition of the monarchy, for the future of the country, and we're just seeing that future being ripped away.
Yeah. And that's happened in a lot of countries in which left-wing armed groups have come to power, like in Mozambique. Angola actually seems to be doing somewhat well. I haven't heard of any strife in Angola. Angola actually has a better economy than Portugal, their former colonizer, which I find hilarious. Like a lot of Portuguese are moving back to Angola. Which is hilarious. But
one of my comrades when I was living in the FTP collective, they mentioned to me that I think it was Sierra Leone is actually doing quite well.
Yeah. Mind you, this country had a civil war 30 years ago. But yeah, like a lot of people sleep on Africa. Africa is the youngest continent in the world. It has a shitload of natural resources. But the West profits off keeping Africa in chaos. They do not want a united Pan African Socialist Africa. They do not
Absolutely
want.
right.
They do not want a free Nepal. They want. They
Yeah.
want the world forever in chaos, forever in confusion, so that they can come in and they can steal whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
last time I was in Nepal, actually, the major protests going on were, and this was in about, I think 2022 or 2023,
mhm.
was there were specifically protests about American involvement in our government.
Yeah, because if there's one thing that the Americans are good at, it's fucking meddling.
Yeah, tampering and tinkling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So that's basically what's going on over there.
Yeah.
People are mad because they're tired of being fucked over. They're tired of having their wealth exploited. They don't want their country being handed over to China. So what would your What would your response be to people who continue to assert that the People's Republic of China is somehow helping to develop Nepal, or that the Maoists there are ultras, or that like they should get the fuck out of the streets and go back to work?
I'll address those all in point. So, for one, the People's Republic of China is considered by more hardline Maoists to be capitalist voters.
Like me.
Exactly. And specifically, there's a joke. I think I told you several years ago. So the Chinese government is currently developing the ring road. They've
Hmm.
been developing it for years, but there was this one joke that I remember hearing from a comrade, which was that these two soldiers are standing there watching the Chinese backed east north south highway. I think it is actually. One second.
Busy man. Africa will have a population of 4 billion people in 2100. Doesn't Nepal have the strongest support base of socialism? Yeah. Every valley, every village has its own socialist party, has its own communist party. Yeah. And it's amazing. Like in the third world, like socialism is basically like it's a cultural thing. Whereas in the United States, there's still like distant memories of the Panthers. But like in Ecuador and Bolivia and Nepal, you have people naming their kids Lenin and Stalin. And
Yes,
and
actually, I have several friends who are being named after various who were named after various communist revolutionary.
do people name their kids after Prachanda?
Yeah, no, they also Conchalo is a proper name. It's a it's a pretty common name. It comes after Gonzalo.
Wait. People over there are naming their kids after Gonzalo.
Yep,
Holy shit. The only people that would do that in the United States are the Red Guards.
I know, and those guys are crazy.
Yeah, they came after our organization.
Yeah. Also, thanks,
so,
Comrade. Yeah, I do want to talk to my dad again soon.
yeah, it sucks not being able to like that's just how fucking cruel
Yeah.
this government is. Like you should not stop people from talking to their relatives. That's a nice way to get people pissed off at you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can still talk to some people who are over there, but they have to use VPNs at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing about repression. It will definitely make you creative.
Oh yeah.
And that's why you don't take the internet away from Zoomers and millennials because we're like digital natives. Like we grew up with this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it goes
Yeah.
all the way back. It goes all the way back to evading proxies in school. Like I had this teacher in my computer science class. Like he got tired of us playing fucking uh weird ass flash games. So he would put this little thing up, and we all eventually learned how to use the fucking proxy server.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do not take the internet away from us.
Yeah. Exactly. We're all digital natives, like you said.
Yep,
And
unless you grew up in a Mennonite compound or something.
yeah. Um. In regards to your other questions, you specifically mentioned what was that other one about the general India and China carving up border territories?
Yeah, taking away y'all's border territories, like basically trying to parcel out the country amongst themselves.
Oh yeah, no, they're trying to.
Kind of like what Venezuela's trying to do to Essequibo in Guyana.
Yeah, they're specifically the. I think the most Nepalese people are more angry at India right now because China exercises soft power and India exercises hard power, and India has been trying to take over the uh, Kalipani and Tatapani regions, which are on the borders. And there's also quite a lot of, and this can't be understated, quite a lot of national pride amongst Nepalese people,
Yeah,
which,
I mean, no shit. Y'all just had a fuck. Y'all did have like technically Nepal is the argument could be made that Nepal is really the only place that proper Marxism, Leninism, Maoism won.
yep, it's
Like
it's
the
what,
Maoists won.
yeah. I mean, it's like last time I was there with my dad, we were talking to a foreign national. He asked why I had a hammer and sickle tattooed on my shoulder, and my dad told him, "Well, this is a communist country." You know?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that. And like not communist as in, um, like
Oriented. Yeah.
not China type communists. Like
Oh yeah.
you literally have like Nepal is probably the only place in the world where people who credibly can be said to be Maoists have power.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the reasons that people are so pissed at the current government because it's the Maoists don't have power right now technically because Prachanda basically betrayed the revolution
Yeah.
and joined the UMLs. It's also a weird sort of, like the consulship in Rome.
Hmm.
It's sort of how the government works over there. There's two major individuals running things, and they share power, quote unquote. And in reality, much like you said, a lot of people are pissed off at the fact that the Marxist Leninist Party, that's Unified Marxist Leninist, and the Congress Party are basically just enriching their kids.
Yeah, and it makes that makes that makes people think that socialism is basically that like a small clique of intellectuals takes over the country and fattens their own pockets while simultaneously talking about the people, the people, the people. Like that is how like that's literally how American propaganda teaches
Yeah,
Americans. Like, oh, you
and
don't
there
want
are, and over there are probably, I mean, it's also the rich inner city types, or not inner city. That's not the proper word, but the urban elite that are enriching themselves and making socialism look bad. Whereas the MLMs, especially under Comrade Biplav, the People's War Group, they're still out there in the jungles. And they're ready to go.
okay. So at the so like if the protests go south, then you might have the boys coming out the jungle again,
Yep, yep.
kicking it like it's 1990,
They're remobilizing in their cantons. I mean,
kicking
I
it
can't
like
say
it's
too
19
much.
kicking it like it's 1996.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you betray the people. Like Mao said, if China ended up becoming like how China is today, he would definitely support going back to Yana and reinitiating the People's War. So
Oh yeah,
when you betray the masses, the people remember like all those cold nights in the mountains. Prachanda's up there teaching everybody about the struggle in Peru. Like people remember that shit.
yep,
There's a lot of old comrades around
yep,
that are like, you know what, you're a fucking sellout. You're basically like you taught us this shit.
yeah,
Like you taught us this shit, Prachanda. And now you basically turned around. You had us out there fighting, bleeding, and dying. And now you live in comfort. Your kids, your grandkids live in comfort. Meantime, I can't even get a bowl of rice. Fuck you.
yeah. Exactly. That's the basic sentiment. It's not just the social media blackout. It's all of it.
Yeah. And that's
I
what happens.
mean,
Like there is no worse enemy than a betrayed friend. And Prachanda betrayed a lot of people.
oh yeah.
His name literally means fierce one, if I recall correctly.
Yes, his nickname was Comrade Kieran, his nom de guerre, and it means fierce.
So what is the Nepalese term for a paper tiger?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. It also actually, fun fact. That's all. Karen is also. It can mean tiger sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
So
he
he
knew
is
he
a
was.
paper tiger.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he planned on betraying the revolution all along.
Maybe. I
So,
mean, there was a few years ago. He actually sent some goons to try to abduct political rivals.
oh, oh
Yeah.
wow, that's some pretty fashy shit.
Yeah, in their own hotel too. And here's the thing: I'm not a particularly big supporter of the Congress Party or the general social democrat trend, but trying to fucking abduct them in their own hotels when they're just there to meet you is fashy as hell.
Yeah. So, what do you think the end game of all this is?
Honestly, I can't say, but I think what's most likely is something my dad and my grandfather both told me, and they were, let's just say, friends of the revolution. Nepalese people can't go fucking 5 minutes without a revolution.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You
There,
come
yeah,
from
it's
the
yeah. It's also there's another adage. Sorry, we have a lot of sayings in Nepal. One of them is trying to get communists to work together is trying to like weigh out 10 pounds of frogs when they're live, and they're all hopping off and like splitting into different groups and stuff.
Yeah, I have a choice thing too. Trying to organize Maoists is like trying to herd cats.
Yeah.
Eh,
Well,
well,
as far as yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's still a developing situation, but I'm feeling pretty positive about some form of the People's War turning back on into a bit of the three-stage revolution
hmm.
rather than just
so,
the
uh,
one stage.
so the comrade asks, so the genuine Maoists are embedded in the people? That sounds pretty painful for the people. I wouldn't want Maoists embedded in. Maoists have guns. I don't want a bayonet stuck up my ass.
Yes, the Maoists generally are more, at least assuming you're saying that they're more associated with the wider people. That is correct.
Okay, it's awesome.
You know,
All right. Well, is there anything else that I like? Is there anything else that you want to say? How can we help the people in Nepal?
at this point, just spreading awareness, I think, is the most important thing. I know that doesn't sound like a major. It doesn't sound fulfilling, but right now it's such a developing situation. I'd say spreading awareness is important, and spreading awareness about how China is basically exercising its soft power over the Nepalese government,
Hmm.
um, and India is exercising its hard power. I don't know. Maybe we'll align with the fucking Pakistanis or the Bengalis. Who knows?
That would definitely make for some amusing Twitter conversations.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, when Iran,
Soviet Islam.
yeah, when India and Pakistan had that little border spat a few months ago.
Yeah.
There was the Pakistanis were going hog ass wild.
Oh, yeah.
Long live the
Yeah.
revolutionary will of the Nepalese people. What books would you recommend about the Nepalese revolution?
There is a book about women at war in Nepal. I forget the exact name right now, but that is a really good one.
There's also Leonesto's dispatches from the People's War.
Yes, Dispatches from the People's War. There's also a variety of Marxist texts that get disseminated around the country.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm kind of on the spot, so I can't quite recall some of the exact names. But I know that a majorly popular text right now, even in fact in the army, in the Nepalese army, is "What is to be done."
Ooh,
Mhm.
you've literally got Nepalese army soldiers reading Lenin.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Because that's one thing that the Maoists did was they part of the peace agreement was that A lot of their cadres were to be integrated into the professional military of the country.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of like what happened with Goto Wesizwe in South Africa.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much all of their cadres, well, pretty much all of their military cadres ended up in the regular South African army.
yeah. And that's the major difference, though, is that you have groups like People's War Group and Biplav Faction and KRG. They're still out there, and they did not want to be integrated because they didn't trust the peace agreement.
Yeah, like as
And
we saw what happened in Colombia, FARC well, allowed themselves to be disarmed, and a lot of good comrades ended up getting massacred. So
oh yeah,
yeah, never put your guns away.
never put your guns away. Yep.
Yeah,
And honestly, a lot of people are talking about how those groups that didn't disarm are being completely validated right now.
yeah. Well, once again, the Maoists are right.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was good having you on, comrade. We
See
should
you later,
talk a
Comrade.
lot more. Yeah, call me some more in the middle of the fucking night. I love talking to people in the middle of the
I
night.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, you are two time zones behind me. But yeah, this was Comrade Nate, everybody. All live the revolutionary struggle of the Nepalese people.
Long live international proletarian revolutionary struggle and the revolutionary internationalist movement such as it is right now.
And don't forget to join DSA.
And join DSA. It might not feel like the most big thing, but join it.
All right. Well, see y'all whenever.